For more on Trump's indictment, I'm joined live from Miami, Florida by Associated Press reporter Philip Crowther. Hello, Philip. What's the atmosphere like in Miami as Trump's lawyers prepare for his appearance?
You can see right
on
behind me the Wilkie D. Ferguson courthouse building here in downtown Miami. This is where the former president will be making his appearance before a judge in just over 24 hours' time. And you can also see behind me here the yellow tape that has been put up here by the police here, showing us maybe that some tension might be in the air over the next 24 hours or so. There are no protesters here right now, but we do expect that to change by tomorrow because the president himself, the former president, has called on his supporters to come right here to this federal courthouse in downtown Miami to protest his innocence. So there might be some scuffles here. You never know, because there could also be other groups protesting here as well. So what we're seeing here, in a sense, is a similar scene to what we saw in April in New York City, in Manhattan, because that is when the former president was indicted on state charges stemming from payments that were made to a former adult film star. That was in the year 2016, during the 2016 election cycle. The scene in New York was a similar one back then. A lot of media interest, as there is right now, and also the expectation that there will be supporters of the former president here to protest his innocence.
Philip, out of the 37 counts against Trump, which ones are his lawyers saying are the most critical?
Well, it depends on who exactly is on his team, in fact, on his defense team, because the former president lost two lawyers on that team just after this indictment was unsealed. Essentially, what we're looking at in this case here is 37 counts altogether. 31 of them are counts that relate to the president holding on to secret documents, hoarding them, essentially. The others are conspiracy counts, but they also pertain to him lying about having these documents. Essentially, what you're looking at there is the president, despite investigators wanting to look at those classified secret documents, him not being willing to do so. It's unclear really what lawyers on his defense team think is the most serious charge here. But most experts would say here that this indictment is a pretty strong one, and that the former president's defense team will have their work cut out to prove his innocence.
Philip, what are you learning from people waiting to see Trump tomorrow? He has maintained his innocence. He says the Biden administration is corrupt. What are you hearing from people around Miami?
Well, it's unlikely that they're going to see him, first of all. There are very few supporters of his on the ground right now. Again, that's going to change in the next 24 hours or so. The former president is already on his way to Miami, by the way, from one of his clubs in New Jersey. He has a club here in the Miami area as well. So he will be spending around 24 hours here on the ground. We don't expect to see him necessarily, except, of course, if he wants to be seen by his supporters. He will be in this courthouse behind me without cameras, without photographers in place. There will be sketch artists here. That's pretty much all we're going to see of the former president. We expect him to make his first appearance in front of a judge, for all of those charges to be read out to him, and for him to plead not guilty to those 37 counts. That's essentially what we expect from the former president. We don't expect him to speak here to supporters, because we already know that he is going to do so from his club in New Jersey. In other words, straight after this court appearance tomorrow, Tuesday, he will be heading back there.
And we'll catch up with you again tomorrow, Philip. Thank you very much for your reporting.